Been there, done that, know what's next. Life's a journey, never complex. A lifelong student, educators call, guiding future, standing tall. Conscious parenting, full hat on tight. Drove through decades, walked away for rights. From the motion pictures to the cosmic light. Contactee's journey, universal sight. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Human experience, hang out, come along. Kids, health, synaptic circle, singing our song. Random vlogs, life stories to tell. Each journey a beacon, wishing well. We all have incredible tales to share. Healing activation, spreading care. Light the way, find the others. What's your mission, sisters and brothers? Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence. Rise, humanity, unity we seek. Community sharing, synaptic circle unique. Be the solution with someone today. Assist in the rise, light the way. May the song lift whoever comes across, and may you do the same, no matter the cost. Spread the light, ignite the flame. In unity we rise, forever reclaim. Attempting to put the human back in humanity. Mic check, 1, 2, hear the clarity. Fascinated by the human experience. Sharing stories, breaking the silence.
Howdy and hello. Hello, Flix Love. How are you? Hi, Blazer. Let me turn this off. Hello. I was saying hi on there, but I see you on here. Very nice to see you again. It's been a minute. And who likes my swag? Chiro sounds in the house. Hi, Paranormal Pixie. Hello. Good to see you again, too. I'm loving this color. I am sharing some swag today. And hopefully my two Midwest fellas with the greatest swag to their demeanor, Carol and Jane, they have some pals, so they might not be available here. But they're going to check this out later because I am wearing my Chiro swag, courtesy of Jane. And we've got Midwest Night Watchers in the house. That's for my next live. I just didn't know which one to do. What to do? The cool thing is they're super duper cozy. So very cozy on this. Hi, Clay. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Clay. Like the wild hair girl. Oh, am I getting wild on you? Let's do that. Yes. Oh, thank you. It's color conditioner. I did my color conditioning treatment today. I get some white. But I'm gonna keep it pumped. I don't know if I shared, but my grandma, when she passed at 101, she still had brown hair. She never let anyone see a gray. Now, I don't mind sharing them so much, but just figuring out how to merge it all. So yeah, check out my Midwest MNWs, Midwest Night Watchers, and Unmas. My Geezer Geek swag. I have a zip-up hoodie from Geezer Geeks. Now, I got this straight away. I ordered in August. There was a little mix-up of stuff. So I got my Geezer Geek swag straight away and a cool sticker. Here's my Geezer Geek super soft sweatshirt. I forgot to tell Robert, though, the GG, it doesn't come out with the gray as well. Can you see that? It kind of does. I mean, it's super soft. I wear it anyway. But I think instead of ordering the gray, maybe I need another color so I could see both the G's and the geezer part. Geezer Geek. Can you see it? So yes, I'm going to be cozy. And now we're officially fall and it's windy and it's cozy, which means 60s. So I got my sweatshirt, I got my big thermal socks on, and I have a blanket on. Well, now I have my Midwest as a blanket. So yeah, Big Daddy G, man. The second G is a ghost. Yes, Blazer. I thought I did the t-shirt, so I got these sweatshirts. So I'll take it. And it is cozy wozy. I also thought I went to go look back online. I thought these emblems were a little little bigger, but I'll take it. This is like a light blue gray. I really like this color, but I didn't know if this would be bigger. It's hard. It's hard to do online stuff. So you'll find their things currently. I'm wondering, I think there might be their own store could very well happen, but currently you can find it on Mindwear Apparel. You have to search. It's not on the cover featured page, but you do have to use search. And it's on there. So yeah, and if Neil pops on, Neil in UK, he has some swag too. I want him to share it. Come on, Neil, come join me. Join me on the screen side. Oh, Mike Holt, how are you? Hello. Nice to see you, Mr. Mike Holt. Happy Sunday. Happy November. Happy November. So I'm doing this as well because couple itty bitty announcements, and maybe you all would like to play with me. So it's my birthday month. Full on Scorpio. No, I'm stoked. And I'm going to work on my birthday. Even my hubby's like, aren't you going to take off? I go, no, the kids, they spoil me rotten. Plus, we're learning fractions, and 50 is perfect to learn fractions with. So we're going to have a party. And then Thursday, I'm going to go in for my Thursday crew. It's only 9 of us. And then I was thinking Thursday night, but no, I think Friday morning, the 22nd. So 2 official days after my birthday, but I celebrate all month. I'm going to go live and I'm going to share the links. And I would love anybody to come play and come say hi. I'm going to probably go from 9 to noon because I'll babble a lot and then I'll share a lot with who pops in. Hi, Angel Wings. Very nice to see you. Zachary Fisher. Fisher in the house. I almost got me some Fisher, fam. I almost got me some Zachary and Sue Fisher. They were this close to coming to the West Coast. And next time, I hope they'll be here. You just had yours, Blazer? Yes, that's right, fellow Scorpio. Happy belated October 22nd. You're 2 days after my love, Joaquin Phoenix. In case I didn't tell you one of the million times on here. Cool. Happy belated. Did you have a good one, Blazer? Well, let's share Scorpio stories. Maybe you'd want to pop on her and say hi. I mean, people don't have to. You don't have to show your face either. But if you want to come say howdy on November 22nd, I am going to do my own little live stream. Speaking of, but the weekend before, Saturday, the 16th. I do believe that's the date. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I've missed. Geezer Geeks was down for a little while and they are back up. And I was going to join in on the Geezer Geek since I am officially a Geezer Geekette, according to AARP. And I'm going to do a little geekette pop-in on the Geezer Geek Show. I believe it's the 16th. I hope it's the 16th. I told Robert 23rd, my mom comes to town, so I won't be available that night. So that would be very fun to share some birthday shenanigans. I'm going to milk it. I'm going to be doing this all month. So, oh yeah, you're with TKB. You just got there last night. Oh, sweet Angel, how's it going? Hi, TKB. Hello to you guys. I hope you're having a blast. It sounds like it's going to be tons of shites and giggles, which is the awesome Miss Way to hang out. Hippie birthday. Thanks, Mike Holt. Well, since I really stopped drinking, it's no longer a birthday. Or my barfy blackout days. Let's call them for what they are. I got to that point. So now it's bucha. Some hard bucha. Or like you were like me yesterday in a purple haze all day. So I did that too. Oh, Angel Wings, I'm excited to hear all about that. Thank you for the algo bump, Mike. Thank you very much. You're November 30th, Conspiracy Clay? Or is that the day we're supposed to do it? Wait a second. Well, my mom will be around. Did I miss that? Clay, correct me if I'm wrong. Are we doing that the 30th? I don't want to give my wrong dates. Here I thought I was doing, that's Saturday the 30th. Maybe he already said that. Okay, we'll scratch that one. Here's Bauer. Yeah, which day, Bauer? Which day is it on? Hi, Lulu Bell. Very nice to see you too. Very nice to see you. Welcome, Bauer Media. Washa. I'm in the swag. Amazing already. Lots of high energy for sure. I'm happy to hear that, Angel, because you should have heard me talking to my kids. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm still in a haze. And we just went, my giant went grocery shopping with me to help me push the cart. I've been a little Greetings, Brown Dwarf. Nice to see you. Greetings to you in the chat. Bauer, if it's my pick, I would pick the 16th if it's possible. The 23rd is 3 days after my mom flies in, and I think I'll be at LAX around 6. And then if it's the 30th, you still can't do it. It's the end of the month. If that's Clay's, then let's do Clay's then too. I'm confused. I'm sorry. I should have checked in with you before I did this. So there you go. Nice to see you, Brown Dwarf. Brown Dwarf, I was just channeling my inner Brown Dwarf yesterday. I was in my haze all day. But you know what? I did some really good purging. That's the best time I do purging. And I got most of Halloween down. We were fully decorated. Yeah, I should talk Halloween, talk Enrichment Center, talk all the things we were going to do. Just sharing though, since some of you just chimed in. Bauer, Chiro in the house. I got my Midwest Night Watchers. They're warming my legs because it's a whole 64 degrees. But it's very, very windy. Love this color. Look at that color. And Bauer, are you still there? Look what happened. I actually didn't show, so I'm like, it's cool. But, I had to point it out to a few people. You can't quite see the second G of Geezer Geek. That one's a little extra gray. So when you're wearing it from far away, it just looks like G. So Big Daddy G needs one of these. We'll pick it and stick it. Perfect, Bauer. Sounds good. Perfect. Yeah, my actual official day is the 20th, which is another perfect date for learning fractions with the kids. So on the 20th, on a Wednesday, I will be in the classroom. On the 21st, I will be in the classroom as well. And I have a couple little celebratory things with a couple gal pals because the candle circle's tight. And we're going to fit those in. And then I'll do my little live stream Friday morning with a chit chat with everybody, catch up. But there are other things coming up. And I'm really, really excited to share this one. Some of you, I know Neil, you're not here right now, but he was our first and only fan for like months. But my buddy Lawrence August and I did almost 26 episodes of the Kids Health series. We are coming back on Sunday evenings, just like a half hour or so, consistently Sundays, 5:30 Pacific, and doing mini recaps. He'll do like his mini recap that he does with the health news, and we'll kind of really just tap into that health and wellness. He just turned 50 in August. This is my Chicago buddy that I've known for like 25 years. And he was one of the film buddies that moved out to LA with me 24 years ago this week. So this is our 24-year anniversary. So I checked in with him yesterday. He is just slamming it. He's killing it out here. He's part of the Rainbow Chefs crew, which is an amazing organization. They're going into public schools and they're changing the nutrition and the food system. I mean, bringing in programs to teach children of all types of school districts, by the way. Any kind of school district, not just going to the foo-foo ones, going everywhere and teaching children about nutrition. He's also been part of programs that go into these schools with fitness programs too. So we're going to do it. Why not? Reverse aging is my jam, and he is my homie. And so we're just going to do our little chit chat every Sunday, starting next Sunday. And so I'm taking over today. There's another one happening. Amy Chilson, we all know Adventures with Amy. Yes, Brown Dwarf, right? LAUSD food. And when I was in Chicago, there was a small amount of time I worked in the daycare system. That was while I was getting my hours and at DePaul and before I went to a private school. But I couldn't believe it's like army rations, the big aluminum foils ripped open and dumped in pots and and I mean, it wasn't food. I mean, it was survival. It was survivalist food. And I can't remember what it was. This would have been the late 90s, like 95, 96, mid 90s. I can't remember what the reasoning was. I think it was like liability, crazy crap. It was like this chain. And they said, no, we can't have kids bring their own foods. And it's also before and during when aluminum was reintroduced to what's the schedules, and we got this surge, this epidemic, this genocide, let's just say, of what's happening to these kids when they go for their little visits, and aluminum being introduced. So this is kind of before you would ever get like kids with allergies. It's really weird. I mean, like in the whole program of like 150 kids, maybe there was one peanut allergy. And I don't even think they were doing gluten-free at that time. Now it's like 1 and 2 kids, 1 and 3 kids. I see it. Do you see it? I see it. I remember a school in Oakland had a food garden. That should be standard. We do. We do, Brown Dwarf. Yep. I love it. We do. Well, if we work on it, I should say, because the animals love it too. So unless you're there living there at the learning center maintaining, it doesn't quite last very long. However, fortunately, we're in communities that's our standard way of being. Um, you know, snack lunch queens and kings. Some of you have seen me post about my dearest friend in my class, my little girls in my class, and her mom is like a friend of mine. And it's like the rainbow. She opens her lunchbox and it's like, every single color. It's really beautiful. So most of our community really pays attention to living live foods. So that's really kind of cool. And we learn how to find them. Like I just went to Kroger and I was like, I'm a coupon gal at this point. We got to do what we got to do in order to stay here at this point. So it's the deals, it's the coupons, but there are some companies I will not subscribe to. And anything you can get nowadays, you can kind of get the store's generic organic version. And if you look at the ingredients, it is a little bit, you don't have to get foo-foo organic whole food stuff to get some good products. Just saying. I used to grocery shop for a living, so I did this all the time. So, oh yes, we feed the wildlife. All right, here too. I don't think I've ever gotten a fig off my fig tree. It's like all of a sudden it's bursting, and I'm like, tomorrow's the day. And I get my bushel out, my bushel and my peck, and go out there, and 90% of them are gone. And I'm just like, oh, there was a feast here last night. My avocados aren't quite ready. And then I think we have persimmon. That was a new tree when we moved in. We could not identify it. And it's big enough that we've identified it as persimmon. So it's exciting. And I have a couple little things growing, but animals, sure, I'll take it. I leave stuff out too for the mountain lions. Because sometimes I have to wander through the neighborhood after a fire. And I'm like, here's some water, my child. Find your way, Mufasa. Bobby and Maha will kickstart the health. Change your head. Oh, I see what you're saying. I hear you. I hear you, Bower. We shall see. So yeah, I guess all that. Oh yes. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Absolutely. Those allergies came from Texas. The spray, then gluten allergies. Yup. Oh my gosh, I love this story. There's a really beautiful farm. We were just there. I think it was last weekend. If you've seen posts, we did our school, our class field trip. And if anyone's seen Panera Bread, they're all about natural, natural, natural. Well, I was shooting a commercial before, 2020, and we were at this beautiful farm way out in Moore Park. It's like Moore Park, Camarillo area. And it was sunrise shot with the farmer, this jolly fella in his overalls and the wheat hanging out, and he's like getting the crop ready, and the sun's coming up, and we had to hold for picture because the farm hands were coming through, and we have to wait till they clear the frame. And guess what? They were in full on hazmat suits. So those were my behind the scenes paparazzi shots of like, nothing is safe anymore. I guess so. Yes, Carrie, those crops are jacked. And the more we realize we're mutants and we just have to keep detoxing these metals and these things in ourselves and do the best we can, I don't think anyone is safe out there or foolproof with the poisons and toxins. And if anyone says they are, I think they're trying to scam you in some scheme, because I mean, the water, the air, the ground, the people, it's toxic overload everywhere. What we can do is stay out of the fear mindset and go, okay, I'm doing the best I can. I'm dodging and weaving as best I can. Peanut butter and jelly were a staple in our life growing up. Yes, Carrie, absolutely. You know what still is? This is my favorite. I do splurge on good peanut butter because the peanuts out here, that are known in Valencia and Oxnard, tainted. And Simi Valley is known for burying their nuclear testing. And so all the peanut farms. So you kind of have to be snooty about the nut butters, I think. I know people say, my friends make their own almond butter, and I go, yeah, it'd be nice to churn my butter all day, but I just don't do that. I don't have time to do that. I barely any time to do this stuff. And I know priorities, and with the kids we teach, but honestly, the time is filled up. Hi, Daryl. How are you? Hello, Daryl. Very nice to see you, Daryl Stanley. And Miss Carrie said, lived in DC during a major snowstorm next to the FDA building. Whole Foods has a line wrapped around. Food Lane had no line. Oh, yes. Food Lane had no line. So Whole Foods had a line wrapped around. Ooh, that FDA that gets his whole hands on everything, doesn't it? Yeah. Ugh. So on that note, I'm drinking some tea. I wish I could. Any kids here? Are my assistants here? I want to show the bag. I found this new because I can't do more than my one little cup of my little reishi. It's no brand. It's no pyramid. It's none of that. I just get Gano herb off Amazon. It's got some instant coffee in it. It's a little bit of mushroom. It's enough. It's enough to keep me going. But this is like a earthy. If it's not dandelion tea, which I love because of the liver, it's this other new one. Not new one. It's very old. It's ancient, old school Eastern Chinese beautiful tea that I can't even tell you the name of it, but I'm raving about it. So you're gonna be like, what the fuck, Heidi? So I will put that after the fact. I'll put it in the little comment thread because it's got that earthy coffee kind of taste after, and it's warm and it's clears out, helps with your liver and your what are they? Kidneys. That was my point. It's good tea. Howdy Joe Fox? Nice to see you. I know you're not working now, I don't think. Manure is the best fertilizer for a garden. Absolutely. Agreed. And what's that whole thing about raking our leaves in the fall? But don't we need all those to make all those little layers? And I know when we were learning how to, compost, that we had to do the layers. We did layers even of our old papers and the stuff we were using in the classroom. And, branches and grass and cuttings and all that stuff's good for it. Friend who's a food scientist for Pepsi in Barrington. We're from Barrington. He won't let his kids eat anything processed, right? Carrie, isn't that a big, shiny, bright light on the situation? Most people, like the foo-foo gadget people, Jobs and all that, Bezos, they don't let their kids even on a screen. So if the food scientists from these major global companies that own like 5 of them now own all the rest, if they don't let them eat anything processed, they know what's up. They know that they have to keep the masses in a slump so we can make a money but not die. Never selling us a cure, only selling us band-aids. Cold sweet tea. I like some good sweet tea. Yep. Oh, Joe Fox is home. Okay, good. Hey, Randy. Cheers to you. Nice to see you. I'm not sure which page this is going on. So hello to Facebook land. I see that it's working there. And I see you, Carrie, there. Using the riding mower to chop the leaves. Yep. It's beautiful out here. I know people are like, Callie, sunshine, go to the beach, but we have a changing of the season. And with this wind, the leaves are all getting pulled off the trees now. We had a really crunchy, awesome trick or treat where you're crunching through the leaves and everything. And then it dropped. It got a little chilly. We had a lot of fun. I do not go around online and poo-pooing the holidays. I am very well aware of all the perspectives and the roots behind a lot of things, but I'm more aware than most people know me online. For some time, I've been working on that protection, how to protect myself, how to protect my family, how to not subscribe to certain agendas and fears and things. Even though we know, okay, the harvest, we know the thin veil, we know all those things were happening, I was focusing on the celebrations. We celebrated Dia de los Muertos this week. It was so beautiful at the center and felt I can hear voice, I can pull my clairs up once in a while. And that's a really special day to do it. I also have a little buddy in my class who I think is now more aware that he does it too. And he had an incident at the Learning Center with that. And so we had a really beautiful experience honoring those who crossed over. It was celebrated not just in the classroom, but for the whole community. And it was sweet. I came in the room, I kept it reverent. I had candles, my little fake little candles all over the place. And the light was very reverent. And I greet them every morning. I had them sit down and I told them stories about, they already knew about my one grandpa side, how the lineage kind of stops. And my grandpa used to tell me, I'm part Cherokee, I'm part Native American, and all my other families. No, he's not. He's just telling you this. But when I see his old pictures, I can see it. I can see the resemblance. And I mean, that was special. So when my son did our family tree line, it stopped there. We couldn't find anything else on him. So I'm like, I knew it, Cherokee. So I showed them a picture of him and I had them think, what do you think? Does this look like an Indian? And then I told them the story of my grandpa Huck, who my son's named after, how my kid, my baby, when he was crying, he was enough to like point and like be active cry, but he was having a really bad night. It's before we knew how severe and awful his tongue tie was. Anyway, he was screaming in the middle of the night. I couldn't put him to sleep. I'm standing in front of a mirror in front of my dresser, and all I'm just doing like, oh my God, please, oh, I'm crying, and all of a sudden he starts laughing, and I was like, what? I looked at him like, what happened? What? He's like, is he possessed? Where did this come from? And he was fixated behind me up in the mirror, looking high above, pointing and starting to laugh and then going to me. And I think I've shared this on here. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself. He kept jiggling, touching me here and doing him here and laughing. And then I just felt my knees crying. That was my grandpa Huck, because what he would used to do, he had this big old little chicken gobble gobble thing, and he would rub, 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 like tease and make it shake. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the thin veil, he assisted me. So I'm telling the class this, and I said, this is not fear stuff. This is me trusting that my ancestors are part of my guardian team. And when I needed one of them the most, they were there. And Huck fell right asleep, and so did I. And we had this beautiful exchange, because there were certain kids that were looking at the commercial side of these things, the fear, the horror side, the harvest, the rituals, the stuff that we know goes on. We kept that sacred beauty about it, and it transcended the classroom. It was really special. I lost a lot of things here. Sorry, I wanted to share that story. Brown Dwarf wants goats instead of machines. For that, Roger riding his mower lawn to chop the leaves. I know. We have some goats in our hood. Once they got free, they went near the highway, so they wound up corralling them all. Thank gosh. But hello from Chile. Hola, hello, my friend. Dia de los Muertos. Yes, Brown Dwarf. It was so beautiful. I don't know if you saw my pictures on there. We had mariachi come. We had the food. There's a girl in my class that dances. She's part of a dance team with the Mexican culture, and she had the full garb on, and she danced. She's 10 in front of the whole community with her instructor. It was so beautiful. It was special. And my daughter's grade, the 8th grade, hosted it in their room. So they created this massive, beautiful altar. They had a man and woman playing guitar, and she was singing. There's a boy with an incredible voice in 8th grade. He and the others dressed up. Oh gosh, forgive me for not saying how. Cantalina? Charlie? How do you, oh, you're right there. What are the girls and boys' name who went room to room with Sawyer? Oh, no. Yeah. But no. What do they call them? Not the Katrinas. Am I right with that, Brown Dwarf? Well, they went room to room, and they came to our 3rd, 4th grade room and got us. They all come in, and they all have their candles and their full face paint and the full outfit. And he starts singing Remember Me from Coco. And I know it's a Disney movie, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and moved a lot of us. And then we followed them out to the altar. We all had a framed photo of a loved one. A lot of the kids had pets, and I had a file folder because I have so many passed over ancestors. I just kind of taped them in a folder, and we each took turns while they were singing, giving our altar. And then we heard a beautiful story from another woman. And then we walked out and had our bread. And then we went out to the feast and the mariachis and the dancing. And it was so special. So that was our Dia de los Muertos. Oh, I see you, Talka. I'm going to have to translate. Oh, wait, where did that go? Oops. Beautiful. That would be nice. We got coyotes where I live. Only thing keeps them getting my chickens is oh yeah. When I lived in the valley, Roger Bear, like down by Van Nuys, Encino area, my chickens, they were getting slaughtered, and those were by the city coons. Those raccoons were bigger than coyotes, like 3 times the size of coyotes. They were awful. Henry Nelson, nice to see you. Happy Sunday to you. Oh, Carrie, I love you. Thank you so much. I have not been. You're not in the Midwest. You're a little, aren't you outskirts? Are you north? Are you in the Carolinas? You safe from all that? Did you ride out the storms okay? Thank you, Carrie. Oh, you guys are sweet. Random coyotes in the middle of the city here. You know what? They're everywhere, aren't they, Brown Door? Oh my gosh. I love that. Oh, yeah, Katrina and Katrina. That's it. Yes. Oh gosh, they were beautiful. And then we had, I'm going to butcher everything. I'm still in my haze. That beautiful hot milk drink. I said hot chocolate. I'm like, no, that's not the right word. Beautiful hot milk with cocoa in it. It was very good. So that was Tuesday. So then I come back Wednesday. I have to share some fun Halloween stuff. I came to class. Now I did last year. Last year we had the outdoor classroom, and I always shared photos and the going on of that. That was definitely a challenge, but it was amazing space. That day outside, I set myself up in our sacred council, which is under all these trees, and I had this big cauldron of dry ice, and I had my full witch outfit and this background scene, and I told a story. When they didn't know, they thought I was late, so my sis walked them up through the path, so they had to come through the woods kind of, and then they found me, and I told the story, and it was candlelit and all that. It was really cool. So this year we're inside. I'm like, how am I going to top that? So I did. I feel like I did. I pimped out the room. I covered a lot in black shears and purple shears, and not a lot of like tchotchke. Everything I do is like Dollar Tree, but this wasn't like an obvious flat skeleton. It was like an actual skeleton. Or I basically got into the witchy thing the most. I put a whole recipe on the board because I want them to do their writings. We're doing fractions, we're doing measurement, liquid measurements, dry measurements. So I'm like, perfect. Our lesson will be making potions. So we made peculiar potions of the emotional kind, because I'm like, what can I pull in the human, the lesson here? And I told them stories. I was making them off on the top of my head. I don't know if other educators know that. I wasn't going through all the old Steiner philosophies and pulling something up. I was just like improv. And I was utilizing the kids in class because this one boy he just can't help it. It's like his interruptions are insane. No hand raiser. And just like, I got to tell you everything I'm thinking. So I told this story about the patience potion, and I kept referring to him. And then we had the compassion potion, the anticipation potion, which was kind of like the patient pal, where they couldn't wait to get to their destination. And goodness, what was the other one? Compassion, I believe. Compassion, patience, anticipation, and gratitude. Those were my 4 potions. And once they wrote it all beautifully, remember, we make our own main lesson books. Yes, champorado, the warm drink. Yes, so good. So good. They had a freaking huge warmer for that because, there was maybe 130 of us, 140 of us. They did such a good job. And my daughter was one of the servers. um, Oh, you don't know what it's Dia de los Muertos is Day of the Dead. So, what it is, it's in the Mexican culture, it's the thin veil. It's talking about the thin veil, and that's the time of year that those grieving the loss of loved ones can connect with their loved ones. And there's altars that are made for them, and they pay homage, but it's a celebration. It's you're honoring the dead who've crossed over, and those of some people can tap a little bit into that. I remember the first one I did at this learning center, I was the assist, and I went in the room as the assist with this class, and I did not know it was such an emotional, beautiful moment. I was like, I was I was ugly crying. But it more so because I would hear laughter. I felt warmth. I smelled like chicken soups. I could smell dirty cigars. I was like feeling that thin veil. And there was one little girl in that class that saw me, and she goes, "You can feel it too?" And I'm like, "I can you?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we would hold each other arms and go through the ceremony. It's really beautiful, actually, Daryl. It's very sweet, very old school. And I think that's what I like with our center is we are honoring all cultures, and we're all celebrating all the things without driving home the commercial aspect. Sure, it was turned into a movie. Okay, whatever. Sure, there was a song sung from that commercial movie, but it's old school. This is cultural. And that's what we put forward. And even the hosts of these different festivals that we do, we make sure on the board of the festival committee they're actual people from that culture, so nothing is misrepresented, and that's what makes it so beautiful. I think it always comes from the heart. It's so very sweet. It's really sweet. So as far as like Halloween, sure, there's the commercial bit. I feel I did not go into the certain days of harvest and the rituals and sacrifices and how billionaires don't love astrology and these dates, trillionaires do, and that stuff. I did go into magic schools and talked about the magic we have within, and how that thin veil is not meant to scare us. It's meant to empower us, to remind us that our ancestors are with them, and to be connected to them is to understand you have a team with you to support you, and someone's always watching you too. But with the Halloween and the potions, it was so special. They were so into the work. They really wanted to do beautiful work, because then they would come show me, and I was my little witch in my little disco. Look at you, you're beautiful. Yes, I'm doing one of my voices now. Look at you. Why aren't you just so lovely? Look at these colors. And I just went full on character for the full hour and a half. And they would just come give me their little menu. And I'm like, so which potion are we today, darling? Talking to them. And they'd pick, and then they'd have to go through my little arsenal. They use droppers. They had to find the 1/6 of the dropper, or 1/4 of the dropper, or 3 teaspoons, because that equals 1 tablespoon. I kept the lessons in there. And then, and they got to make their own little potions and bring it home. And I was like, this could be a potion you'd want to give to a family member. Maybe a family member needs to practice patience or compassion or something, or you hold it on to yourself, keep it in your lunchbox, or just remember that, you put your intention into this, and this is now yours. It was really cool. And then, of course, we had a fun little feast. Howdy from Texas. Howdy, Michael Koff. How are you? Don't you love it? Chiro sounds in the house. They have company. Otherwise, they'd pop on. I was going to try to time it around Midwest Night Watchers, who are going to be live in an hour and 20 minutes. So you'll probably see me over there next. But yes, thank you. Hi, Peaceful Penguin. Nice to see you too. So yes, that was the Halloween at the Learning Center. The next day, Thursday, actual Halloween, I only have a crew of 9 kids. And I wound up saying, yeah, you can wear a little something. We don't do the commercial, so we don't do media. So, don't come in with SpongeBob or anything like that, but little cat ears, or, I painted some whiskers. I went all in a little bit. That's fun and friendly. And we did that day a lot of mathy stuff, and we're working on a puppet show. So I have a drama class with them, and so they're working their things out through puppets. And it's really interesting to see how they're doing their character development. And right now we're making our doing a scene study with these puppets, because our goal, since there's only 9 and there's 19 in my whole regular class, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are going to perform for them for our holiday, our next holiday, like the end of, our winter. It's not a Christmas celebration. It's the winter holiday celebration. Our last day of sessions, I believe, is December 12th or something, 13th, something like that. So we're going to do a little puppet show for the rest of our class. Plus, maybe it'll show the rest of the class, hey, we have a good time on Thursday. Sign up and come on over. As much as I love the small class, it's nice when we're all together. We can all do the same stuff. So, anywho, that was the Learning Center. So now I'm going back tomorrow with more fraction talk, and it's countdown to my birthday. So it's a good number. 50 is a good number to do math with 3rd and 4th graders, especially like Steiner, Waldorfy kind of kids, because they're at a certain point where we're just introducing fractions and long division and things, and having a number like 50 is fun to play with. So I'm going to be doing a lot of callbacks to my birthday. So if you are just joining, Friday morning, the 22nd, if you want to come join me on a live here, I'm just going to do like a little birthday live, and I will put the link in the chat. Anybody want to come say hi, totally do. And then I believe Geezer Geeks the 16th, or I guess the 30th, we're going to lock it in. Going to be a Geezer Geekette, guesting, popping on there for a bit. I did forget somebody I wanted to share. Oh, good. 49 minutes. Yes. So yes, then the taping, it'll be actually, it won't air until Thanksgiving week, but I'm doing a special recording with Amy Chilson, Ventures with Amy, and her business partner Susanna. So it's a health and wellness thing, and it's about a little gizmo gadget, and it's going to be a fun little informative talk. I won't be live, but I can't wait to share that. But I am going to go live, and I hope we lock down a date this month, if not early December. But Anthony Aponic, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Anthony L. Aponic. Am I saying it wrong? Did I write it? And Andrew, I could get it right in the first place. I'm so embarrassed, and I'm so sorry. Andrew Aponic. He is a coach, a holistic coaching, and he also has many a tale of La La Land. So we have some tales to swap about our time spent in Hollywood and our health journeys as well. So I have not met him. We were introduced through Rosie Elise, if anyone knows her. And I've been on there. We've been buddies online for a little bit. I have followed his stuff for a little while. And I was just like, hey, can I just interview you online? Just do a little human experience hangout. So that is coming up. I did like talk, school, advert, talk, school, advert, hi, hello. I'm all over the place because why not? It's Sunday. Um, yes. So those are my things. So anniversaries. Dare I insert a few snarky bits? Well, I am giddy because it was, I think today is the second, right? Or the third? The second? The third. So today, I guess, would be the day that I shoved off Midwest, just Northwest burbs outside Chicago. I was at my folks. I asked two film buddies of mine like 2 months before. I said, I am going to Los Angeles. I'm going. I'm moving. Does anyone want to go? And do you want to share like the trek out there with me? And two film buddies chimed in, one of which is Lawrence August. And he was my first roomie. So that's why we're going to start taping again starting next Sunday. But it is our 24th anniversary. And if I'm going to be 50, that means by beginning of November of next year, I will have officially lived here half my life, which blows my mind because I've lived in Barrington, Illinois, Houston, Texas, Door County, Wisconsin, Portland, Oregon, downtown Chicago, 8.5 years. I've lived all over, but in LA, I've been 24 years. I just blows my mind. So my big posts about that is about following your bliss and trusting your gut and following your bliss. Because had I not done that, my kids wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have learned all the things I've learned. Who knows where I've been, everybody, there's no path. It's so many doors open and opportunity, but I just use the intuition, and I still do, to guide me. So I'm always grateful for my current state of being, even when I'm clipping coupons. Hi, John Popek. How are you? Nice to see you again, sir. Hey, not a good time. Really? All day, the dog wants you to play with him. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mr. Michael. You want to find your bliss. Oh, Joe Fox. I know. What is your bliss? Let's find your bliss. That's my case study today, Joe Fox. What is your bliss, Joe? Well, you love socializing on social media. I think that's a beautiful thing. Clay said, never thought I'd be living in Iowa. Iowa's gorgeous. Iowa's a fabulous year. I lost some crunchy moms out here to Iowa. So so I'm sorry. We're sending some Californians your way. I love it there. Yeah, the bliss following. That was a crazy ride. So actually it was the blizzard of 99, right before we turned 2000. So it was December 99. We had one of our blizzards, and I lived in Chicago. This is when I was on the lakefront and I was working in the private school. This private school did not close down. The bus system even closed down to like 2 buses. I was trekking in my Uggs along like Sheridan Road, which is by the waterfront, in a blizzard going, what am I doing with my life? Like, I had already gone to LA for a showcase when I was 21. I was coveted. I was asked to come read for Baywatch. I guess Yasmin got that role. And something in me was like, no, not yet. You're too busy and having fun in Chicago. Sure, I wonder what if, but I'm like, nope, that wasn't the route I wanted to take. So I went back to Chicago a few more years, did a few more stuff. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to try to go back. I think I'm walking this blizzard going, Teaching was happening, but I was always auditioning. I was a private school, so they let me go audition, and I had the best of both worlds. But I'm doing this like I don't think I can go through this another year. I had a dog, by the time I got home, I had to walk him in the alleys. You're snowed in, and I'm just like, okay, I've done the winters on the lakefront. We're good. I'm done. And cut to like I think it was a week or two later. It was New Year's, the Y2K. Happy anniversary to my old farts out there who remember Y2K. I was at the old Playboy Club in Chicago. One of the parents at our private school invited some of the educators to this beautiful Y2K, 2000 New Year's Eve party, almost like a black tie. It was really cool. So I brought my boyfriend at the time, who was my little stoner boyfriend, and I was not a stoner. And I was just thinking, yeah, I brought my date, and he was my fella. And anyway, that night at the countdown, I'm a dance floor girl. I'll be on the dance floor the whole time. And bless his heart, he does too. But at the countdown, it got quiet, and I started going, look at all these suckers. They're all going to get engaged. How cliche. Turns out my fella had a ring in his pocket. And because I said that, he waited till the morning, till my glitter and my crimped hair was all over the place and my eyelashes were all crazy. And he asked me in the morning as I'm hungover, going and I'm like, what? Really? And he goes, well, I was going to do it last night, but you made fun. And I go, and this is better. But in hindsight, very kind, gentle soul, but that wasn't my person. And in the moment, even it wasn't, I sat on it. I didn't even share it with my parents because they weren't aligning with this person. And I said yes. And I started going, and everything went, what are you doing, Pop? Why are you going this way? You're supposed to be moving. Like, this isn't the way you're supposed to go. So we did this trip to Portland in like May to visit my aunt. And I had the sure realization, I'm like, okay, that was my final test for myself. So as soon as we got back, I gave the ring back. I started to move my ass home because I was downtown. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I need a transition place again. And then I told my mom, I go, it's time for me to move out west. So by October, Halloween weekend, she flew with me out here and we hoofed it. We never been out. Well, I was here for a showcase, but I didn't really go around by myself. And I wound up finding a place. It was the weirdest way how you found it. It's a really good story. I should share that too. I know Chicago blizzards are no joke. And I tell the kids in the classroom, Michael, that the buildings have ropes along them, in the Windy City, especially Michigan State Street, because you will have to hold it when you walk along. The Windy City is no joke. Sorry, I'm missing this. Michael's blisses and shows and hanging out with Heidi too. You too, Michael. Let's play. Come to my little birthday hangout. Chicago blizzards, no joke. You're attracted to the high vibration. I guess it's true. Woohoo! I know we stocked up on everything with bottled water for Y2K. Remember, we thought the computers were going to go down. You too, Michael. See you soon. Yes, that true path. I'm telling you. But listen to this. So we were here. We stayed in Beverly Hills for my mother's sick, and then I think we went. I don't even remember where we were. Anyway, we had a rental and I'm like, Mom, Magnolia in the Valley. Like, I'm already did the research. I go, I can't afford this side of the hill. I got to be in the Valley. And sure enough, for 24 years, I've been on this side of the hill. And so we stuck to the Valley and went everywhere. And we were just not getting these good hits. So it was like the day before we're supposed to fly out. We're on Sunset at that, what's that restaurant called? It's in the middle. They're two pop. It's a kind of a paparazzi hangout. Anyway, there's a restaurant there and there's a coffee shop next door. And our restaurant table was there, but the coffee shop was there. And people, sit outside on the sidewalk. And anyway, my mom and I were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe I can't find anything. And we're just blunt. All of a sudden, this older looking fella who looks like a passed away grandpa and his older wife leaned in and said, excuse me, this is not like us at all. I'm sorry to interrupt your lunch, but we couldn't help it over here. And the wife says, my husband is a realtor in the Valley and he has access to lists that, that don't just list their apartments for sale, like private listings and stuff. If you'd like to give us your contact info, here's our business card. We're not crazy. You don't have to come with us to some crazy office. Just, give us some contact info and we'll look something up for you as soon as we get back to the office. And I was like, that's crazy. How, you never know what can happen. And so I had just gone to the mall there in West Hollywood and gotten my first little cell phone. I still had my pager on one side, and gave them that number, but my mom gave her number two. And anyway, within an hour that after these people left, they called us saying, "There's a listing right now. Are you able to get to Encino?" And we're like, yes, let's go. And we went, and oh my gosh, this one and only place these people guided us to, he had the listing for it. It was a freaking townhouse. It was like 2 stories, 1 bedroom, but 2 stories in this little nice townhouse community in my budget. All the other townhouses there were like 3 times the price. So it was like, how? What? Wait, what? And they go, there's no credit, it's just through me. You guys seem like great people. I got good energy from you, basically tell me if you want it or not. And so I toured it, and, it's getting dark. We have to go home, and then we check out first thing in the morning. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to put in a request, or what's it called? Application. She goes, do it. And we did. And then that whole night I'm sitting there going, okay, so I'm going to get to town. I'm going to take the CBEST so I can have in my back pocket a certificate, and I can always substitute teach because that's my pastime. That's the thing. Always do something with kids. And then I can do this job and this odd job. I thought at the time I would waitress. I never did that. And I could make the money work. I can make it work. And we're all pumped. And anyway, we leave the next day. As soon as we're landing in Chicago, they called me and said, okay, you got it. Can you be here the next 2 weeks? So that's when I'm like, hello, film buddies. Remember when you said you might want to come join me? Well, I have an actual place now. You can crash with me as long as you need. We'll split the bills. Who's coming? And within 2 weeks, Lawrence and my other buddy T were like, let's go. And so, so Y2K, and then by November 3rd, 2020 or 2000, the day before I also got a Saturn. I didn't even have a car because I lived in Chicago. My dad's like, well, you got to pay this note off for me, but I'll help you get a car. At least you need a car. And so anyway, I drove, and my buddy T and Larry got the U-Haul. They got one way too big for how much stuff we had. It was like the last one left. I took all these random things from my parents' garage, things that I had up until the move into this house 2 years ago, and a blow up mattress. I had a twin mattress and a blow up for the guys. Anyway, we made it here. We left the 3rd. We drove through the night. We drove 26 hours, I think. It was all about coffee. They didn't have Red Bull then, but it was coffee and just living cheap. I had my little bowl. I made them drive together so I could have my little bowl and have my moments. And then we get to Colorado. We get to Colorado Springs. I'm sharing my courageous stories. Yes. Thank you, Peaceful Penguin. And so thank you, Joe. I recognized it for sure. So we got to that area in Colorado. And we're like, finally, okay, we are delirious. We have to sleep. So we all go to sleep at like 9. By 3 in the morning, the hotel person comes through banging on doors, and they banged on mine and got me out and said, listen, there's a huge blizzard coming. If you don't leave in the next hour, you're going to be stuck in it for who knows how long. And I know you guys are trying to get to the west. So I was like, fuck. So we packed everything up, and we left at like 4:30 in the morning and stopped in Vegas. And that was my first experience with Vegas. I'm like, it's all snowbirds. Like, I watched Casino. I'd been dreaming of this experience. And I'm like, it's snowbirds and tourism. Like, I didn't understand what the Vegas thing. I had my red pleather pants on. I was ready to party. And I'm like, what is this stuff? I guess they hadn't revamped it yet. We also stayed off the strip because everything was budget. And we were only there one night. But anyway, we pulled up to this Encino pad, and even my friends were like, how the heck did you score it? We're right at the 101 in White Oak, if anyone knows that. And that was my start. And my buddy Lawrence, still to this day, makes jokes about Encino Man, Brendan Fraser movie. It was very good. Hi, Erin Moriarty. How are you? Good to see you. I'm sharing about my adventure out here to California 24 years ago today. And I'm going to have to tag Lawrence in this too. So anyway, we had that epic adventure, and we lived like paupers. I was collecting change. Those were when burgers were like 25 cents at Burger King or something. I would buy like a block of cheese. Smart and Final, I thought, was the greatest thing I'd ever been to. So I'd buy a block of cheese and, of course, a box of wine, and I'd live off that for a week. And then, thank God, my buddy Lawrence, he's always been into health and nutrition. He started at GNC, so he'd bring me home products to try and like food bars, and we made it. We made it through my very, very first job. Like a month later, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get some work. I was a courier for Courier Express. I was like one of two white people. The other, I wound up being married him. And it was for the breakdown services. So before you did everything online, you had to staple your resume to your headshot, put it in a manila envelope, send it to a casting office or agent, or the casting mailing office that are requesting them. So I did that because I always hustled, because everywhere I drove, I'd look through who they're admitting, and then I'd put myself in there. And I made up my own little beep. My beeper number was like my agent. I wound up starting reading for soap operas that way. So don't knock it till you try it. I hustled, and I got to dress up and go in like William Morris agency. I went all of, they never made me wear the uniform. They're like, we see what you're doing. We like your hustle. Go do it. Go do it. And so I had a good time. Anyway, I met a fella there, wound up being engaged to him 2 years later and marrying him. That's the one I divorced after 6 months, but we're still friends. He's a very, very good gentleman. I just did not need to settle down. I always seemed to settle down when the going got tough. So that's my long story of that. I love it, Erin. Thank you. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you too. So Facebook is going. So look at that. And Joe Fox, I see you. Man, yeah, I forgot about all those fun little care shares in the story. So yeah, that happened. And here I am. I have another funny anniversary, but I don't think it deserves my attention anymore. So 2 years ago at this time, I think I was on speaker. I don't know how this person did it, but it was really mean and it was really rude. I used to I was co-creating with them for over a year. And I guess things weren't going the way they wanted to go, and they did not know how to communicate with me what they wanted. They did not. It was when I look back in hindsight, all the signs were there, manipulated, there was always all there. But when someone like that runs into people and tells them that they know them from another planet or dimension or all that, it makes you feel special. You want to feel special. So this person is looked up to in that regard. But for every encounter in person I've had with this person, those were the worst experiences for my family's life. So I'm starting to put a few things together and realize, I wasn't needed. I was needed. My energy, my light, my putting things into existence. I don't know. I have to put this story together in my own way. But long story longer, instead of, as an adult woman or man would do, of, well, things aren't going exactly the way that we predicted, we could do this or we could do that, or I'm so glad our families are friends, but this part no longer serves a purpose. Totally cool with that. Instead of that, it was like a ghosting. And then I was totally gaslit on speaker, and it made me cry. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that? And I'm literally just asked to help. And then because it hit me with a ton of bricks. Oh, because they didn't want me to help. They wanted me to quietly sell t-shirts in a lobby of other people they weren't affiliated with anyone we knew. That was always talked to me. Don't you know any other people? So that hurt. Anyway, I didn't care about ending that because it was all over the place, and this person could not narrow it in what they wanted. From the moment we started, I gave 2 sheets of lists of names of people and subjects. None of them. It was all her domain. So I'm like, other than the 3 people that she said were the worst shows she ever did, were my referrals. But I tried where I was allowed to try. Everything else I was shot down, and they were taking ownership. Unless the going got tough, then it was my fault. Anyway, glad that was over, but I started getting blocked everywhere. The whole family too. Like I couldn't get I was like, oh my gosh, I'm blocked. What did I do? And that started a series for me of unlocking difficult truths that people are not always who they say they are, and the social masks we could create for ourselves, even if we do special episodes about being authentic and doing these things, but a particular person just cannot show it all. I tell ya, that was an ass kicker, because I'm like, really, at this age I have to go through this lesson again? And I did. So again, I'm grateful. So happy anniversary to letting me be free. Thank you. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for helping me understand a bit clearer that my intuition and my husband's intuition never lies, because he called it out from the very beginning and I ignored him. So giant for the win. So yeah, love these little anniversaries. That was around now that I got that little gut punch of like, wait, what? And then it was like, okay, no problem. I'm ready to end it because I need to get back to my other stuff, but we're still cool, right? Like we're still planning family vacations and like doing things. Oh, we're not. Oh, and then the silence from another group of people. I'm like, what was said? What was said? I could, that could eat you up to wonder what it is. But the reality is, who knows? Because whatever it was wasn't the truth. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been radio silence or unfollowers or those who are not liking things. So something was said. So I have no idea what it is because no one cares to ask. I put my own story together, but for now, let's just say I am so grateful I went through all of that. The highs, the lows, the rejections, the manipulations, the gaslighting, the ghosting, and the real big belly laughs and fun experiences. All of it, because it just trained me to observe people a little bit better, not to have that blind faith that someone with a lot of optimism usually has. How's that for 2 long stories in a row? You were married for 10 years. It was a very good 3 months. Oh, Erin, I love it when you come in with those. Thank you. Lack of honest communication. That's it in a nutshell, Peaceful Penguin. That's it. I really didn't even have to say all those other words to fill up space. It was lack of honest communication, pretty much through the whole journey of it, too. Because there were a couple ghost moments where I'm 7 years older and I was just like, oh, they're not doing that. And I'm like, oh, if they are, let them have their tantrum. They'll say when they need to say. Like, I never pressed because I'm like, I'm not getting involved with this drama tantrum. And so I let these tantrums go and then be like, okay, are we back? Are we good? Not knowing exactly what the problem was. So that's my fault. I get that I could have done a lot better job at getting clarity throughout the process instead of just going along for the ride. I do say it nice. I'm trying to say it nice. I don't know why. Because I don't want to stoop that low. I don't want to fall in their energy pattern. But it was just such a fucking funny thing and how it transpired. Yeah. I went to one mutual. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, it's ill communication. Really? Then are you not going to help say anything? I guess you thought this should happen too. So anyway, long story longer, I am grateful. What a wonderful experience. On that note, what's the name of the tea? Oh yeah, you're down here now. Can you grab me that big green bag of tea? Who's that? Charlie? Can one of you please? It's in the cupboard. I can't miss it. It's tall green one. Now I can share if anyone's still with from the beginning. The tea one, the coffee cups. This is the name of this tea, and it's doing something to me. It's doing something. It's like I feel like my kidneys, my bladder, I'm just feeling this cleanse, and I didn't even mean to do that. I think I just did it for the age-defy purposes. Thank you. Moringa leaf. Who's heard of moringa leaf? That's a pretty good one. This is like that dandelion tea earthy thing. Can we talk politics? No, Joe. Sure, I can if you want to. I just really like this one. So that's where my calm demeanor is right now. Oh my God, is this spilled on my new shirt? No, it didn't do anything. Just kidding. Okay, Joe Fox. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Honestly, the election I'm so excited about is on the 5th. And it's for 8th grade class president. My daughter's running for a VP, but I'm also curious to see how they're doing it. They did a town hall, they did a debate. They narrowed down 6 candidates to 3. They have ads they had to do. My daughter helped make one. It's on YouTube. I loved seeing these kids get involved, and they have to pick their platforms. They have to be believable. They can't just make promises with money. It's like, I love it. And as a staff member, I went to these candidates. I'm like, what are you going to do about recess? Unity, because my little ones are really intimidated by the big ones, and they should be looking up to the big ones as mentors. Like, how are you going to help? And hearing what they had to say to that was really cool. So I'm looking forward to that election. As far as everything else, I'm in a red town. So most of Cali, I think, is. Other than those really crazy bits of La La Land. A lot of Cali is, and I'm just so sick of it having to be red or blue. I'm just done. I'm done. I was done with the two party in 2016, but when I saw 45 win and I saw what he started to do, I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is what we needed. Someone not tied to deep state or a cabal puppet. And sure enough, 2016 to 2020, I will always support as an amazing time. I've told my kids that I lost family members, friends. No, we all have. I've lost so much respect from people for my support of 45. And then I look at the time, I look at the amendments that were made, I look at the stuff that was done, and I go, you tell your kids about peace in the Middle East, North South Korea, the benefits to homeschoolers. You tell them that that's a bad guy that did all that. Because I sure as hell not. So I've always stood by my man. Yes, Mike Colt. Not I know, probably not when you lived here. It wasn't. Absolutely not. And it wasn't last election either. But they keep saying it's turning. And I've been kind of watching it. I'm watching some of my folks who really ostracized me last round, and they're in hats and all. They're just kind of like, oh, we see what they did now. But that also makes me question a lot of things. They're still puppet masters in control. I loved how 45 talked with Joe Rogan for like over 3 hours. I mean, that's somebody for the people. That was kind of cool. The parties are the problem, Aaron. They're totally the problem. I think 45 said something on an interview once that he had to pick a side. He knew he could not even, it is especially the underdog going in. You can't pick an independent party. There's not enough people strong and brave enough to support an independent party. It's just the facts. And it's the game is left versus right. That's the controlled narrative game. So infiltration is key. However, I don't know what will happen. The fact that so many intuitives keep saying there's not going to be an election, I'm like, I know they're trying all their things, but then people are already saying it's already rigged. We're already seeing the results of a rig. I'm like, exactly. I don't have enough synapses in me to make a nice little theorized, prophesized idea about it all, other than let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, I've been following my bliss. I've been creating the whole new earth paradigm. I'm a conscious educator. I'm doing my bits. And to be honest, this is just a nuisance. This is just a fly in my ear. Because, yeah, too many clowns to choose from. Right, Clay? I still back my fella. At the same time, I'm like, you had many opportunities to show how you want a new system. So I don't know. I was just trying to appease everybody. Same here with 45. Even my current relationship, 18 years, is taking a big hit bigly. I know. Oh gosh, this one's awful. Listen to this, Joe Fox. So 45 days, and then the 17th letter days, which I was an active, very loud supporter on my one old Facebook page about that letter. And because to me, a military operation with code, and like you have to discern, you have to look up links, we were discovering truths, things that are out in the public that are open, but we got eaten alive for studying and calling them out then. So the way we got eaten alive, I will never forget. So one of my family members, this is on my mom's side, my Portland peeps, called me out on my Facebook. And then here I'm just talking to people. I never was mean about any of my support, or when I jump on people's threads who are getting eaten alive. I was never mean. I put people in places by just being like, hey, it's just me being my opinion, right? You like meat? You don't? Oh. Like it was such a time that humanity lost itself that I tried to infuse my humanity anywhere I went, championing this theory of don't worry, this is all under control. So anyway, this one side of my family, they just started eating me alive in the comments. It hurt so much. And then I was blocked, and cut to a year ago, 3 months after the fact, I find out that my uncle died. I didn't even know he died, for fuck's sake. Can you believe it? That side did not like my opinion on the world so much, even though I was championing the children, championing freedom of speech, championing medical choice. They were so angry at my voice on social media that I didn't even know my relative died. The relative I had in my home, the relative I've had wonderful conversations with and experiences with. I was flabbergasted. Now I could point to a lot of fingers there and go, my mom, my sister, like, why the didn't you guys tell me? But they all said the same thing. Well, A, we thought you already knew. And B, we had no idea that that's how blocked you are. We just thought you would know. And it was devastating. So that was just last year that I was like, whoa, being the nice little Heidi of the family that overly did too many nice things, never quite did exactly what my needs were because I was overly just, oh yes, 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 let me help you, let me help to family members and things, and very much the quiet, shy one. The fact that I grew into an adult with a voice and an opinion, they just put me to the curb. And still to this day, I could not believe it. A family member died, an uncle of like a first uncle. It's just so crazy. Okay, natural law is occulted primarily to maintain power hierarchies, control collective consciousness, perpetuate ignorance through nescience. I'm sorry, prevent spiritual awakening among individuals. Yes, everything you just said, peaceful penguin. We'll share. Yes, God bless us in 45. That was an amazing time. That was an amazing time to drop my cajones and to find the others. That's when I started my little speakeasy hangouts. Um, and I said, I have to walk away from this industry. I'm not supporting how they're doing things, especially today. Look at what's happening with the celebs. I found out about their one sheets they get from their agents and things. And I said, I'm not aligning with this. I have to build the new. And we did. I think the whole white hats that helped overcome the cheating 16 will help him again in 2024. I hope so. Aaron, I think you were the very first podcast I did. And it was soon after all this, right? And I was like, I still believe. I believe everything will go back to normal. I really did. I really was. I've seen that playback and I'm like, oh, wow. I really thought everything was oh, sorry. We made a mistake. 2020. And then my galactic man Cairo is the one that's like, no, this is going to go to 2024. I'm like, no, here we are, 2024. So crazy. Oh my goodness. Hour 12. Well, I said I was going to join. Yeah, I'm going to jump on theirs and they go live. Okay, so Midwest Night Watchers is live in about 45 minutes. Truth Quest. I'd love to come on Truth Quest again, Aaron. Absolutely. Let's holla. Let's play. I think it's Sunday, so maybe next Friday. So what were my dates? Friday. What am I doing? Who am I? What's happening? Next Sunday, Lawrence, August, and I, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, every Sunday. Andrew Aponic, we're locking down our time. Something maybe this month, I think, or early next. Amy Chilson and her dear buddy Susanna. We're going to talk all things health Thanksgiving week. And myself will be live and weekly, getting back to that. And Geezer Geeks, I'm going to hop on there for a birthday hangout. And then I'm going to have my own live birthday hangout. I'm going to probably stick to a morning afternoon one because that's usually when I'm most active. And I think that's a day the giant works, so no one will be here. And I can say all the things. So that's me winding down. I would love to, Aaron. Absolutely. And I need to get those circles going too. Michael, I know you're not on here now, but we were talking about another a chit chat, but maybe as a synaptic circle with some of my film buddies. Get the perspective of people within the industry, not the speculation. So yeah, there you go. Wow, I had some diarrhea of the mouth in the middle there, but that's what live's all about. You can't edit that shit. Now it gets cut and used against me. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard keeping up with this. I'm in the classroom and then I have my family to tend to and my self-care. So I give myself Friday, Saturday, Sunday to fit things in. And trying to check out Barry Littleton and he's muted. It's so funny. Oh, I love Barry. I'm going to give Barry some love in the chat too. I love Barry and Barry has no filter. I chatted with him on here, Barry and Jessica, and then we were done taping. We carried on our conversation and that's kind of when the juicy bits came out. Woohoo! 9 p.m. Central. That's 7 for me. I can stay awake at 7, my dear. I can do that for you, Aaron. 7 p.m. You mean next? Next is the 8th. Let's do it. 8th. I'm going to bug ya. I'll jump in that chat and say, pull me up, coach. Excellent. Well, cool. Well, whoever is still in the chat, are you voting? Do you still participate? Let me just see that real quick. Who's the voters? As I wind down. Thank you for letting me vent a little bit. I had some venting. Yeah, that's it. I love it that story doesn't churn me up anymore. It was such a blatant lesson over my head. I've had 3 really big hit me over the head lessons that if I go too deep into it again and unpack again and re-question how I, settled it all, it bothers me. One being about my kid's dad, like that whole interaction with how that came to be and what happened to me on set for that. There was a lot of assumptions from people with me that because he had lied to me and he didn't tell me there was another woman and children in the picture involved. He just told me he was the swinging single dude. So I look like a hussy. So I had to deal with that kind of gossip. Then there was another girl in this community, last name rhymes with Mew. Still very active. That was a torturous thing because I took her under my wing. I was single and I was a single mom and I wanted to help her because she was in a very uncomfortable situation. So much so that her daughter used to tell me in front of her even that she wished I was her mother. And I think that's where the root of her trying to gossip about me came from, because no mother ever wants to hear their child say that to another pretty much stranger. I want to stay with you instead. I want you to be my mother instead. Craziness, right? 8th, Aaron. Yes, 8th. It's down. So what happened with her was there was an incident in my house at a gathering, a hangout, and she had brought some of her pals with her, one other big person in the community, but one of them was doing drugs at my house. And it was clear, you could see it, but it's like, there's kids here. This is like a spiritual hangout. Why? Like, what the heck? But I was not snarky. I was never mean either. I really took my position of being the older, mature one seriously, like wanting to help. So I never cornered this girl out. Honestly, I didn't see, no one said it in the moment. We let them all go along their way. It was the next morning when my daughter found the paraphernalia and aluminum foil and things of that nature. I sent a picture of it to her and I go, are you okay? Do you need me? Do you need me to come get you? Which is not convenient because she was freaking down in Laguna. And but I was, because I've given her my car, my house. She house sat. I offered to do too much for her. I was being used. And so when I called out her situation, like, well, here's the perfect opportunity to make a good choice and go. I've given you the space. I gave you the room. I said, help with your kid. Your kid likes my kid. They both like Pokemon. Like, this is a win-win. It's all win-win. Not only did she refuse, she ignored me. She ignored me for 24 hours. And now in hindsight, I look, well, she's a kid herself. And that would have had to make her make changes. That would have bettered her situation. And she wasn't ready to do that. She liked her victim card. She liked being in that position of other people doing things for her. So instead of me, blasting, oh my God, look what happened in my house. These people, that's druggies, which is ridiculous, which I would never do. But I also wasn't mean to her about it. I was more caring than not. And so what I got in return was a ghosted and Gatlit and what the F do you want me to do about it, and never heard from her again, as well as those people that she hung out with. Later, years later, I find out she's telling stories. I like have crushes on people. Like I'm trying to infiltrate, like just stupid shit. So I've had to deal with people say stupid shit about me for a long time, and stuff that on my character, stuff for me in business, stuff for me as a woman, as a girl, as a mom. It's gossip is cruel. And if you align with and become close with people that you hear their gossip about other people, don't think for a second that you won't be in that seat one day. You can't think you're safe. There's somebody who does that. And that's what that last person that I was with, the 2-year anniversary person, would always get these calls. I'd hear about these other people. And I'm like, why am I hearing this? Why are you telling me this? So that when things went awry with us, I'm like, oh my God, now I'm the one that she calls people about. And who knows what she's saying? Because I couldn't believe some of the stuff she would tell me. It was, yeah, the sorority Southern girl Belle. I mean, let's just say I'm just glad I don't need a service pet to be in between me and others because I've created so many little white lies out there that I have to protect myself. I'm just glad I can be raw and authentic at all times. Vote. Oh, here's Peaceful Penguin. Vote. Formal expression of one's wish or choice with regard to a proposal, candidate, etc. From Latin votum, a vow, wish, promise. To a god, solemn pledge, dedication. Yeah. So is anyone voting? My town is so red. I'm in a town with those pickup trucks with the flags in the back. They never came off the last 4 years. We have FJBs in the neighborhood. We have all this stuff in the neighborhood. So we are very much that neighborhood in LA. And there's a lot of us. So it's not just my neighborhood. So anyway, let's see what happens this week. So, without further ado, I guess first up would be Erin. It might be you. So, be on Truth Quest next Friday night. And then hopefully I'll get with Andrew Ponick this month, next Sunday, 5:30 Pacific with Lawrence August. And then I got one with Amy Chilson Thanksgiving week and my lives. I'm going to try to do my lives Friday mornings. That's my and Saturday around this time. Well, no, I won't be doing Sunday around this time. That's Lawrence. But Saturdays, Fridays and Saturdays, I'm going to come say hi. Oh, hi, Chrissy. Nice to see you. Eee, look at you peeking. Love you guys. Oh, you're the best. She said she wouldn't be offended if her daughter wished to be I would be her mom. That's a village right there. I think we would all die to have Sophia as our daughter. Like, what a treat. This was a sad story. Yeah, they had mold on the toothbrush. This little girl the little girl at 5 when I knew her, had to take care of the mom. That was the sad, hard part. And living so far, and she was young, and she was in this toxic situation that I literally was like, I have to go this weekend. You want my house? Stay away from this person. Like, get yourself on your feet. It was so hard. It's hard to, also, I'm a projector in human design, and I had to learn the art of waiting for the invitation. You can't just assert yourself. And I was very big at asserting myself. I think that turned a lot of people off. I was too assertive with my opinions and thoughts. And I mean, I was being human, but whatever, in that particular moment with that particular girl. But anyway, it hurt. So there's my 3 big hurts that I got to share. And they're gone. And now we have a really wonderful or questionable week ahead of us. I see no fear in sight. Yes, I have my go bags ready. Thank you, Eric Hecker, for that reminder that we need 1 per person, not just 1 per family. And our go bags are set, and whatever happens will happen. I know I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be. And I know I am supposed to be here at this time with the kids in my class, as well as at this geo point. Yeah, we're here now for a reason. So how was that, CareShare? That is my bit and scene. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who showed up and helped kick up my algorithms a little bit. I'll see you next weekend on a couple different ways. So I look forward to sharing more. And with that being said, have a beautiful, blessed one. And hope to catch some of you over at Midwest Night Watchers. We'll see you over there in the live chat. So thank you, everybody. Thank you and good night.